The smallest Volkswagen you can buy in Australia is the Polo, and the angriest one you can get is the Polo GTI, and that is the completely new version of it right there. So, is it too small? Is it too expensive? Is it quick enough? You'll know all the answers to those questions and a whole lot more at the end of this video. But first, a quick walk around. Now, the Polo is the next size down from the Golf in Volkswagen's lineup. The Golf is up against cars like the Corolla, the Mazda 3. This is up against cars like the Ford Fiesta, the Peugeot 208, that type of thing. But because this is the performance variant, it's up against the Fiesta ST and the 208 GTI and the Renault Clio RS. Now, this Polo GTI is bigger than the last one. It's about that much longer, that much wider, and the wheelbase is also about that much longer as well. And what that means is more room inside. Now, I'll open that door, you have a look through here. You know, in the previous Polo GTI, I could not even sit behind my driving position. My legs were digging into the back of the seat. Now, check this out. It's not heaps of room, but it's 2 fingers worth, and that's totally usable. I can now sit in the back of a Polo GTI. Headroom is also really, really good too. The boot, let me show you that. Boot size has also increased because of the extra size in the car as well. 305 litres, it's 100 litres more than the previous model, and now that is a really, really usable boot. Space saver spare under there as well. Chuck that all back in. Now, how do you know it's a GTI? Couple of dead giveaways. This red line which goes through the grille, and now it runs all the way through the headlights. The GTI gives you a body kit as well, which gives you this sill which runs down the doors here. It gives you the diffuser at the back. It gives you this dual chrome exhaust, the rooftop spoiler with its little black bit which juts out, and these 17-inch Milton Keynes alloy wheels. Have you been to Milton Keynes? Don't go to Milton Keynes. Let me show you inside. Okay, sitting up front, there is so much room compared to the previous Polo GTI. In the previous Polo GTI, if you didn't know the person that was riding shotgun with you, you certainly did by the end of the journey. You were basically sitting on top of each other. There was not a lot of room, but so much more room here. More shoulder room, more leg room, and even with this optional sunroof, I've got plenty of headroom as well. Okay, styling. Now, just look around this cabin. It's exceptional for a small car. It really, really is. Standard on the GTI, you get this beautiful red inlay which runs across the dashboard, and you get the same sort of red element which runs around the shifter on the console. You also get these aluminium look pedals down here which are fantastic, and these seats are sports bucket seats, and the standard seats in the Polo GTI are the traditional tartan Clark pattern upholstery. This is the optional microfleece made from tiny sheep. Let's talk about tech. Now, that is an 8-inch screen and it is beautiful. What's not so beautiful is that it doesn't come standard with sat-nav. You can option it, that's no problem at all, but it doesn't come with built-in sat-nav as standard. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can use the maps off those. Also optional is the 10.25-inch instrument cluster, digital instrument cluster. It is beautiful. Is it absolutely necessary? Not at all. But if you can afford it, get it. It's lovely. Okay, now depending on where you are and when you're watching this, the price is going to vary. But at the launch of this car, the price is $30,990, and that's before on-road costs. That's an $800 increase over the previous model with the Auto. Oh yeah, there's something else you should know. You can't get a manual gearbox anymore, just an Auto. Now, let's take it for a drive, because a really big part of this car is the driving side of it. I mean, you could say that about any car, but this is a GTI, damn it. It's supposed to be endowed with great dynamics. So let's go. Oh yeah. Okay, now this comes with, paddle shifters. So paddle shifters on the GTI steering wheel. This comes with a 6-speed dual clutch automatic. Now, is it jerky on takeoff? It's not too bad. Dual clutches can be a little bit jerky in traffic. Let me just have a look at that again. It's fine. It's not as smooth as a regular torque converter auto, but it's pretty darn good for a dual clutch. This is a front wheel drive car. All Polos are front wheel drive, including the Polo GTI. Engine is a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine. It's more powerful than the previous one. The previous engine was a 1.8. So you've got an increase in power, but you've also got a hell of a lot of torque as well. You've got 320 Newton meters of torque, and that torque is coming in from 1,450 RPM, which is really, really low in the rev range. So you've got that oomph right from down low. That's what kicks you in the chest from the traffic lights or from a standstill. Brilliant. So how quick is the Polo GTI? We're talking 0 to 100 in 6.7 seconds. Look, that's not McLaren 720S quick, but the regular Golf GTI does it in, only about 0.4 or 0.5 of a second quicker, so it's not too far behind the Golf GTI. That's fast. Now there's some good advanced safety equipment as well. Like all Polos, the Polo GTI comes with AEB, autonomous emergency braking, and that operates at city speed, so 40 k's an hour, but it also operates at 100 k's an hour on the highway too. Okay, so the suspension in the Polo GTI is quite different from a regular Polo as well. It's been set up for better handling, and that means it's not as comfortable than a regular Polo. The ride is a lot firmer. The torsion bar across the back is a lot thicker. The suspension geometry is different as well. Now you do have different modes. You've got a normal mode for suspension and you've got a sport mode for suspension. Leave it in normal unless you're a masochist. But look, sport is still not unbearable. It's just pretty firm. This is such a fun car to drive. Steering could be a bit more feedbacky, but the shifts are great from that dual clutch. The handling is excellent. The body control is really, really impressive. This thing holds itself to the road really well too, with great grip. I'm just absolutely grinning like an idiot right now. I love that engine. And that torque is constantly under your foot. Good brakes, really good brakes too. There's not a lot to not like about this car. The Polo GTI costs more than I reckon most people would be happy to pay for a little hatch. But for those of you who can appreciate how talented this thing is on the road, the quality of the build and the fit and finish, the amount of tech that's on board, and how much more practical it is, would realise that it's actually really worth it. If you want to know how I arrived at that score, you can read the full review at carsguide.com.au. And look, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you won't miss a single one of our videos.